fired up. Big board ready phones all lit. Miami mind on that perfect fit. Pick by pick, we're cutting through the smoke. We're talking future with every quote. Bobby bringing that bold hot take. Josh with the stats to keep it straight. Coach breaking down every twist and turn. Chalk on the board while the cameras burn. On the clock, Fans talk. Let the war room rock. Hey, Bobby, Josh, and Coach where the fans flock. From the first big call to the final spot. On the clock, Fans talk. Dolphins draft. Fans talk. Dolphins draft. Can't stop. Oh, can't stop. Trade up, trade back. What's the move? Who's that dog that's got something to prove? Sleeper in the third, steal in the late. Every single name could change our fate. From the podium buzz to the fan base roar. We're riding every pick like it's
With the 11th pick, the Miami Dolphins select.
All right, good evening, Fins Nation, and welcome to a new episode of On the Clock, the Fins Talk Draft Show. I'm Bobby Fins Talk, joined always by Josh Wingate and Coach Vogel, and we have a special guest from Roundtable Sports, Drew Collings, with us. Got a lot to talk about, but before we do, let's say hello to the fellas. First, we'll start off. So let's get rid of the least important people here. Drew's the MVP. We're going to wait on that. No, that's it. Josh, how are you, my man? You got internet?
I got internet. It's a wonderful thing. Made us get out of the house a little bit, which is great. But yeah, doing good over here.
Good, Coach.
Yeah, it rained all day today, so I got it was a perfect day to watch some tight ends, which was nice. And I only got 2 more basketball games, which I could not be more excited about. I am so ready to be done with basketball and just be football headstrong from here on out.
There you go. And now let's welcome Drew Collings of Roundtable Sports. Drew, how are you, my man?
Oh, I'm doing really good. It's been an amazing day today. In Lawrence, Kansas, it's about 70 degrees outside, 70 and sunny. So got to go out and do some golf. It was pretty pristine day today.
We're over here on the struggle bus, excited for 40 degrees.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. I mean, we had those times. We had the negative 20-degree weather a couple weeks ago. So we've been through the pain. We're finally getting through it.
It's awesome.
When the weather hits you guys, how because I'm originally from Indiana, and we knew how to take care of snow and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like when you guys get hit with 6 inches of snow like we did, how long does it cripple you guys? Like a day?
Oh, campus is closed down for like a day. Like that's it. Like you might get a day. It's rare that it'll be more than that. Yeah.
It cripples North Carolina to no end.
Yeah.
Like we can't. There's no milk. There's no bread. Everything is completely gone. Everything's shut down for. School will be shut down for a week at least because back roads don't get taken care of at all.
So, Drew, with Roundtable Sports, why don't you introduce the audience to what you do and what else? I know you contribute for multiple, not only websites, but podcasts. Just let everyone know where they could find you, man.
Yeah, so first off, you can find me at X, at Drew M. Collings is where I am at. I'll post a lot of NFL draft content, a lot of scouting. I just posted a Ruben Bain cut up a couple days ago. Zion Young one will be up tomorrow. So follow me there. I'm pretty active. Then I'm also a contributor for Roundtable Sports. I cover the NFL draft for a couple of different teams: Saints, Vikings, 49ers, Chargers, and Texans. There we go. I cover the New Orleans Saints at Who Dat Dish. Then I also have a Saints podcast called The Dome Discussions. Plus, I'll be on the Draft Professors podcast, which is something that covers the draft daily. I'm there every Saturday and Monday. So you can find me in a lot of different places.
Awesome. So you said you just watched or you just worked on something for Ruben Bain. You're going to do something on Zion Young. We've talked about both these guys recently. So I know we're going to talk about position groups and all this, but I have to ask you because we had kind of a fun kind of surprise little debate last episode. And how do you feel right now about the edge rushers in this draft? Where do you put them? Do they have a strong draft class, you think? Is it a weak class?
I am more optimistic than some of the people I've heard. Part of that is, I mean, there's definitely going to be a lot of question marks. I call this group specialized. I don't think there's a lot of well-rounded players who will be 3-down, high-impact players. I think you've got Ruben Bain, you've got Zion Young, and you've just got some others scattered around. But I don't think you have many of those instant impact players. While I do think you have a lot of those players who can be amazing rushing the passer or amazing defending the run, but aren't very great at each of them. So it's definitely an interesting class, but I'm pretty optimistic about it because I feel like a lot of people will be able to carve out a role pretty quickly in the NFL.
Josh?
Yeah, no, I need to watch more of Ruben Bain, but like me watching, I've watched one game of his. I can't remember exactly. I think it was, he played Ohio State, right? I think it was Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't like really what I saw for him to be the top tier guy. In that game, you watched him, he was around the ball, but he was always late to the ball. And I didn't like that. But I have to, again, watch more of him because I've heard there's other games where he's just a freak of nature. But from that little bit, didn't really care for it. And I'm the one that kind of caused the controversy because I said, from what I have seen on film, I think compared to previous drafts, I think this is a weaker overall class because to me, I think like we're looking at more like late first round picks, early second round picks, and we are like true top tier, top 10 picks when it comes to Ruben Bain, Zion Young, and all those guys.
I completely agree with you. This class definitely has some blue chip players. I mean, Sonny Styles will be a premier player in any class, but it is lacking a lot of that top tier talent, and a lot of that stems from there really being only one elite quarterback. So I think people look at that and that kind of helps them make that assumption. But I do think among other positions, it can be seen as a pretty depth class. There's going to be a lot of starters in the league, but there may not be as many star players who will go on to win multiple MVPs or defensive player of the years. So it's an interesting class, but yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, to what you're saying, like this could be a really valuable draft. There could be some really key pieces here that help teams develop and turn into like that next piece, but there's not that like franchise player other than maybe like Mendoza or someone like that or Love.
Yep. Drew, what's your take on Mendoza?
I mean, I was a big fan of Mendoza. I think he's going to be a very good player. It's kind of interesting to where he'll stack up in recent classes. Like, I'd be interested to see where you guys think. How does he stack up to the Cam Wards from last year? How does he stack up to I'm just trying to think. I think he's better of a prospect than JJ McCarthy was a couple of years ago, but I don't think he's going to be up with that Caleb Williams tier or anything like that because, I mean, he does so many things well. I think his processing is elite. He's got amazing arm talent. And what I mean by that is his accuracy, especially on those outbreaking routes. It's so crisp. His timing is immaculate, and it's exactly what you want to see. I think he's as safe of a prospect as you can get at quarterback. Obviously, there's never going to be 100% prospect. Maybe I said like Andrew Luck or something, who will translate. But I do see a pretty straightforward way for Mendoza. I mean, you never know with the Raiders. Their offensive line could just break and cause him not to do well. But I'm pretty hopeful about him, and I just like him as a player a lot.
Does it benefit him having Brady as part owner?
Oh, I mean, you've got to think it. Yeah. Anytime you get a chance to work with that, like, it can't hurt having Brady in the building with him. I think it's just going to boost his stock even further.
Yeah.
I think watching Mendoza, I see a lot of Matt Ryan when it comes to like someone in the pocket, someone willing to stay back there, take the hit, but also he's got wheels on him. So, I mean, he can make stuff happen. So I really like Mendoza. I have to look back at like the Caleb film and see like what I actually, because there was controversy amongst us around Caleb.
I didn't have him number one. No. Jaden Daniels was my number one.
I mean, you really can't go wrong with having a number one during that class. Drake May, Caleb, Jaden, like all of them are 100% suitable.
So we're going to touch on quarterback because obviously that is a big deal in Miami. We are moving on. Miami, the Dolphins are projected. It's heavily reported they're going to move on from Tua, trade or cut.
Oh, come on, not Tua.
Not Tua, but Miami is like, this is not really the year if you want to go draft a guy in round one. This is not really the year to do, especially at the 11th spot, because probably Mendoza is the only one, worth a first round pick, especially, at this time. But we're going to get your thoughts on quarterbacks in just a second, Drew. But I want to talk about, I know we talked about this beforehand. We had both gotten credentials to go to the Senior Bowl. Did not work out for multiple reasons. But you followed through on the Senior Bowl, watched it, think of it. Man, I just gotta get you. What were your thoughts on the Senior Bowl this year? And man, who stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, first off, weather sucks for that. I mean, torturous travel plans for me. Couldn't end up making it. But it was still a very interesting kind of event because you did see a lot of people stand out. The couple players that flew to my mind is Texas Tech defensive tackle Lee Hunter, the Mobile, Alabama native, absolutely wreaked havoc in Mobile. I mean, he was pretty much unguardable. No offensive lineman could keep up with him. I think Notre Dame wide receiver Malachi Fields had some outstanding moments. I think maybe some of his top clips are being talked about more than his consistency, but I still do think he made himself a lot of money. John Carroll wide receiver Tyrant Montgomery. Yes, I mean, who saw that coming at all? He came out of nowhere and killed it. And just those small school prospects. I mean, you've seen them rise. You can even extend that to Ted Hurst, the Georgia State receiver. You saw them have really good days and boost their stocks by possibly even multiple rounds. Now, I think the edge rusher class, you saw them have some really good days. Zion Young, TJ Parker, Gabe Akis, Derek Moore, all bullied opposing offensive tackles. I think really the only one that was able to keep suit with them was Max Ianacor. But it was a very fun event this year. You're not going to have the stars that you had in future years. It's kind of the same thing with the whole draft class. I mean, you didn't have any top quarterback to keep your eye on. You didn't have anyone like that, but I think that really allowed it to shine light on a lot of other players who wouldn't have gotten a lot of spotlight in recent years. So I do think it was very valuable, and it was a fun experience as always in Mobile.
So talked about some great names out there, guys who stood out. Lee Hunter, Malachi Fields, the wide receiver from Notre Dame, Derek Moore, Zion Young. What's great about the Senior Bowl, it makes some guys that you weren't looking at kind of jump out, guys that were kind of, because the media will hype on these big group of guys, and everybody else kind of falls on the wayside. But then the Senior Bowl, the scouting combine, those guys will hop on up. So some of these names really stand out. But what are some guys in your eye that you were like, I'm going in, I can't wait to see this guy, or I want to look at this guy, and maybe he dropped off a little bit, or like maybe who hurt themselves at the Senior Bowl this year?
There was one guy who I was particularly looking at because I wasn't high on USC wide receiver Jacoby Lane heading into the Senior Bowl. I thought he looked pretty stiff on tape. I didn't think his separation ability was anything to write home about. And sadly, I was just proven right. I mean, you saw a lot of other receivers make themselves some money. You saw them fly up draft boards. Well, I don't think you really ever heard Jacoby Lane's name once. He was supposed to be one of the highly scouted recruits there, but I mean, he just couldn't separate from the defensive back. So I think he definitely hurt himself. Jude Bowery, Boston College's offensive tackle. He had a chance to go there and prove that he can be an offensive tackle at the next level. But I mean, after the game, teams don't put as much stock into the game. But when you get physically bullied as much as he did, he could not defend the edge. His foot speed was shown on full display. And that's one thing that just really hurts him. And he's going to have to move to guard at the next level. And then two more guys. Nick Singleton. It's not that he had a bad day. It's just that he got injured, and that will take him out of all the other pre-draft events. And that is just going to kill him as someone who viewed with a ton of hype heading into the year, but just kind of had a big fallout with whatever Penn State was doing. Who knows? I mean, was that the scheme? Was that the coaching? What was that? So that's a question that we all wanted answered, but really didn't get any. Then finally, Diego Pavia. I mean, I didn't think he was a quarterback to start. Like, my comp for him was his ceiling was a non-Mormon version of Taysom Hill, where he's a little bit more cocky. And my floor was Jaguars Tim Tebow, where he's basically just a publicity stunt. But going in there, the measurables, 5'9", just doesn't have as much velocity. Like, he made some good throws, but I just don't see him as a quarterback in the next level. So I do think he hurt himself as well.
Let me jump in very quick, guys. I just want to ask about Nick Singleton because we've had talk about him in the past, just with Penn State. This is a guy maybe last year, some projected if he would have came out, would have been a top 10, first round running back, whatever. This season, all of Penn State, really think about Drew Allar and all these, they've fallen off. Singleton, you saw it happen at the Senior Bowl. He hurt himself. Where do you right now kind of project him in your head where he may go? And do you think he'll find success at the pro level?
I'm still fairly high on Nick Singleton because I do see a lot of the traits. I mean, you see the speed, you see some of the moves he has. He's currently my running back 7. I don't think right now, I don't know if he can be a day 2 pick. I could see a team taking him, but I just don't know with the injury and with the fallout in production. I don't know if a team would feel comfortable selecting him there, but I do think he could be a day 3 pick who isn't viewed with a ton of hype after April. But you come to the season, you come to preseason, you come to training camp, and he's turning a lot of heads.
Yeah, I think round 4 sounds about right for him. Injury round, as they refer to it as. But one question I do have for you is we talked about all these players hurting themselves. Like, in your opinion, you're watching film, you're watching the Senior Bowl. How does someone hurt themselves at the Senior Bowl? As far as like, what are you evaluating to say, okay, their stock went down?
So the first off is I'll talk about smaller school players first, because that's my biggest question around them is just how do they translate? How does Ted Hurst go up when he's going against Power 5 cornerbacks, players who are very star-studded? So I'm looking to see that does the competition translate? I'm looking to see, this is particular for Garrett Nussmeier, teams like that. Was it like players who had a down year? Was it the scheme? Was it the coaching staff? Was it the talent surrounding you that made you had a bad year? Was it injuries, or was it you? So it's kind of like that. And then sadly, as I said, I wasn't able to be there, but hearing from a lot of other scouts it's just, how do they look? Do they pass the eye test? How does their frame measure out? For quarterbacks, do they have enough velocity when they throw? How does their routes look? Do they look stiff? Stuff like that. How do they interact with the coaching staff? How are they with their teammates? So there's just a lot of questions that you have kind of in your mind, depending on each prospect, that you can kind of go check them off the box. Is he a leader? Yep. Does he look healthy for Garrett Nussmeier? Yep. And all that. So it's film, I think, will always be king. You can't go back on the film. Film never lies.
Yep.
But this is kind of a spot to reassure or answer a lot of questions that teams may have.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's what I really wanted to hear is film is the ultimate thing, because a lot of people look at it as in steps. Like, okay, they got done with their career, we saw what they were, and then we're looking at the Senior Bowl, and then this player's trash because they didn't play well in the Senior Bowl, and that's truly not true. But yeah, and I agree. So I think Bobby told you this before. I went to the Senior Bowl when Kenny Pickett was there, Malik Willis, all of them, and we were watching. And to what you said, what kind of leader are they? Desmond Ridder was there, and he's someone that was like quiet, soft-spoken, couldn't really see him, taking checkdowns everywhere. We weren't really a big fan of Desmond Ridder in that draft. So to like us being there, he dropped to us because we couldn't see that. And then also watching Falele there doing his little drills for outside and tackle, and just constantly getting beat and pushed back and being I just didn't like it. And to what you were saying earlier about a player, I felt like he had to go into guard because he just couldn't protect the edge inside of there or the inside. So yeah, love it. You definitely need to get an opportunity to go down to a Senior Bowl because it's great. Raising Cane's, we were talking about this last week. If you get a chance, go to Raising Cane's there. And yeah,
overrated.
So good. Like, I don't think it's the number one chicken spot, but it's definitely up there. Like, that's one of my go-tos.
I was so disappointed. I brought this up the other day because he brought it, and then he got mad because I said I think it's overrated. They opened up a Raising Cane's in front of my job, and the line was crazy. And I kept looking at it. I never knew what a Raising Cane's was. So I said, you know what? One day I'm going to go there. Got in line, waited a while, finally got up. I looked at the menu. There's chicken tenders.
It's just chicken, yeah. That's all
yeah, but they do it really well. But what I will say is there's no other Raising Cane's that's been able to compete with the Mobile, Alabama Raising Cane's. It's just like top tier.
Maybe they know their hot spot is the draft, and so
I don't know, but they like all customer service.
Yeah,
customer service was top tier. Chicken was top tier. It was amazing.
I need to try that the next year. Like, that sounds immaculate.
For sure.
There you go. First off, shout out to Scotty in the comments asking about Nussmeier and who is the OT if moved inside would be an all-pro guard in this draft. Great questions, and we're going to get to them. I just want to jump very quick and ask because we're going to get into quarterbacks, and we'll get into that question about OT in just a second, Scotty. But we talked about edge rusher. You know, that was something that we had a little bit because so far what I've seen with edge rushers I've liked. I'm like, this is a decent class where Josh was like, I just don't really see it. what are some of your favorite position groups in this class, and what are the ones that you feel like they're lacking?
Yeah, first off, absolute favorite position is wide receiver. I am bullish on this wide receiver class. I think you can find a star player on day 3. I mean,
Yep.
I think you've got the big 4 at top, and then you've got amazing depth behind that. So that's my number one. I think the defensive line class is impressive. Some people may not agree with me on that. I think it's just more specialized. Like, you're not going to find players who will be good at every role, but you're going to be able to find some really good players for your team there. I think the tight end class, they struggled in Mobile. There are definitely some concerns at Mobile that might have lowered it, but I still do think that it's overall a very strong class. And then the last one that kind of caught my mind was safety. I was looking at the wrong list, not offensive tackle, safety. I think the safety class is really good too. It's got Caleb Downs, then you've got a lot of people behind that who are very solid as well.
There you go. So wide receiver, D-line, tight end, and safety, strong class in your opinion. What are some of the weaker classes in this year's draft that you were like, maybe like, hey, if you're going to get one, you should get one early on because only got like 1 or 2 guys. After that, it's a complete drop off. What are some of those groups?
I mean, everyone knows quarterback. That's one that's got to be on the start of everyone's minds. You got Mendoza. Some people have Ty Simpson, and then you've got kind of a drop off because everyone's going back to school. It was viewed as possibly historic heading into this year. And now we've got 1 guy in the first round, maybe 2. So just NIL, it shows what it can do to you, shows what development is. But running back, I think, is weak. I think it's not as weak as people are making it seem. But we were blessed with such a good running back class last year that it's making this one seem a lot worse. So teams who didn't get one last year are probably regretting it a little bit, but I don't think it's a bad class. The cornerback depth, I think at the top of the I'd say in the first 2 or 3 rounds, you can find some really good cornerbacks. But after that, I'm not entirely sure of the depth. So that's a position that I'm not entirely sold on. And then finally, I alluded to earlier, I don't think the offensive tackle class is anything to write home about. They really struggled in Mobile. I mean, you've got the Fanos, you've got the Lomus, you've got Mauioa, who knows where he'll play. I think he should start at tackle, and then you've got Ian Acor. Then after that, I'm just not sold on it.
What's up, Adrian in the house? We got Adrian, we got Rob, Dolphins Thirsty, Scotty as well. Great to see you all there. Let's get some of these questions out of the way very quick because Scotty brought up the NIL and how it's impacted college. But quarterback, Drew, I'll let you answer this one because we know how Josh feels about Nussmeier. What do you think of Nussmeier, the LSU quarterback?
I would love to hear Josh's reaction because I think Nussmeier is a poster child for why you can't entirely base it off the film because he had a horrendous 2025 campaign. I mean, there is no way around it. He was riddled with injuries. Brian Kelly had him on a leash. Like, that was just a toxic environment. He needed to be out of it. But at the Senior Bowl, I do think he impressed himself a little bit. I was never buying into the round 1 hype of him. I mean, his dad's the Saints offensive coordinator. I saw so many teams mock him to the Saints. So many ones, and I was not for it. But I do still think he's a quality prospect. Now, I don't think he's ever going to be a first-round pick. He's too small. I don't think he's got the best arm for that. But maybe I think he's a day 3 pick. But early day 3, take a flyer on him. He's got amazing leadership. He's got high IQ, good processing. You might have something there. I'm not entirely sold, but I can 100% see how people would like him.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's slightly different than yours. I think he was held back a little bit, but you saw the traits on film. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but you see someone who is really good within the pocket, and that's something I hold high in regards. If you can really navigate the pocket and control yourself, like, I think you're going to be really good at the next level, especially early on, and that's something he can do. He's really good at escaping the pocket as well, and then going on the move. While he doesn't have the arm strength, he doesn't have a bad arm strength. He's not going to throw it all over the field and do everything possible, but it's not going to hinder him like a Tua Tagovailoa. But he does have the capabilities. I think he reads defenses really well, and that was something I had in 2024 that I didn't like about him. I felt like he just threw the ball out there and turned the ball over an obnoxious amount of times. I think he improved upon that, and he's able to throw it in the tight windows. He was able to do a lot. And I think him coming out of that offense at LSU and then moving into the Senior Bowl allowed him to do a little bit more, open himself up, play more freely. And that's why we were seeing that excitement for him. I have him as, I think he's like a second, maybe a late second round pick, but this is the NFL. We have GMs. I think he's going to jump into the first round. Just because, not saying that his value is there, but GMs are going to value a quarterback and push him into the first round.
I mean, I can see that. I'm not there yet on the first round, but I wouldn't be shocked at all to see him go early on day 2. I mean, it's a premium position. His dad's an offensive coordinator in the NFL. Teams are going to know that he's going to be really well trained. He's going to have a high IQ, going to be a good leader. And that's something anyone could want. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a day 1 starter, but he's someone a team would say, hey, let him sit for a year. Maybe we can develop him into something. You never know. I mean, you saw the Saints take a flyer on Tyler Shuck in the second round last year, and that's paid dividends for them. So I could see teams maybe start trying to do that more.
Is he the guy in New Orleans? Shuck?
I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. I mean,
that's what I hear a lot of people saying. They think that he's going to pan out. So
that's the test for next year. That is the entire thing. Like, I'm not saying he's the future yet.
Right.
I'm very optimistic that he is because he showed a lot, but I need to see it for a full year before I buy in.
Yep. I think I did a feature on him last year, so I had.
You did. That's what I was about to say. I think you did, and you were really high on him.
Yeah, I was high on him. So I like to sit back and kind of watch those guys ball out a little bit. So that's good.
Here's the thing is, like, I would really, and it's not going to happen, but I would really like to see Nussmeier go to Denver just because he has Tony Romo written all over him, and just watching him go with Sean Payton and develop under Sean Payton would be such a beautiful thing. But
Trey Bonix, Broncos don't need him. They got Nuss. That's their future.
This is a good question from Scotty and Drew. If you're there yet, please feel free to answer. If not, we can continue. But Scotty's just asking, who is that OT that if he's moved inside would be an all-pro guard in this draft? Is there anybody that you could see doing that?
There is one guy that flies to my mind. He's one of my favorite players in the entire draft. His personality is unmatched, unparalleled. He's got the best personality in college football. Iowa offensive tackle Jennings Dunker. He's just not an offensive tackle at the next level.
Love him.
His foot speed is subpar, but man, he's a football player. I mean, you look at the mullet, you look at his play, like he is a mauler in the run game. Downhill, he will put his hands and just absolutely take a guy out of a play. He wants to pancake blockers. As I said, in pass protection, still a lot of strides he needs to make. I don't think he'll be a tackle, but man, he's going to be a really good guard for a long time.
I like that. I like it. You got coach reacting.
Did he take some? Was he at the Senior Bowl? Did he take?
Yep,
I thought he took some center reps too, if I'm not mistaken.
He might have. I would have to look it up, but I know he took some on the interior.
I think he did some interior work at guard and center as well. So yeah, that dude's just got badass old linemen all over him.
He's such a fun personality. Like, I love him.
Go ahead, Josh.
I haven't watched this year's film on this guy, but I really like watching his 2024 film. Blake Miller came out, and I put guard on there.
Okay.
I think I just love his nastiness, moving him inside. I put on there that he doesn't get beat on the inside, so like pushing him in there, he can get beat on his outside. I would love to see him, but at the same time, I think he needs to get better at blocking on the second level to be a guard. But that was the guy that I had on my film after watching all the top tier guys. That Blake Miller could have been that. The other guy, but I think I don't know if he could be too big. Is Caden Proctor.
Okay.
Moving Caden Proctor, but he could also just be way too big to play guard at 6'7", 366. But he was another guy that I looked at as well.
Yeah, I can see both those. Miller, I have as a tackle, but I do 100% see the concerns with sloppy footwork. I don't think his hit placement or timing right now is fully developed, which can cause him to lose on the outside a lot. But I think he's got a lot of developmental traits, and I definitely think he could. Caden Proctor, it's him and Caleb Tiernan are kind of, or even Isaiah World, you can extend this to, but are in kind of similar spots for me where I think they would be better at guard. But are they just too big to play
Yeah.
there? Can the quarterback see over them? Like Garrett Nussmeier, Diego Pavi, I don't know if they're going to be able to see over them and find reads over the middle of the field. So that's going to be a big question teams are going to have to see, and their evaluation will be very interesting.
But then you look at like Robert Gallery, who was drafted to play tackle and then moved
Mm-hmm.
inside. He was what, 6'7", 6'8"?
Yeah, Mekhi Becton as well. He's another one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've seen it happen. So if we've seen it happen, I know the NFL is going to be afraid of it to happen. So there's a possibility, but yeah, they're big dudes out there.
So I want to ask this here. We'll go because we were just talking about Nussmeier. Let's get back to the quarterback because obviously maybe the most important position in football. Miami thought they had him. Look, more than likely they're going to move on from Tua this offseason, whether that's via trade or cutting post June 1st. So a lot of people right away, of course, most everybody's like, hey, just wait till 2027. Wait till 27. But with the NIL, you never know. But it's true. The best case scenario would be to wait. However, with GM John Eric Sullivan, you got Coach Hafley, but Sullivan more than likely coming from Green Bay, and he even stated in his opening press conference, and he stated it multiple times, but afterwards, they plan on to adding competition in that room. They plan on drafting a quarterback every year or every other year. So I believe more than likely they will address the quarterback position this year. Doesn't mean that doesn't mean it's pick 11. Let me just very quick before I want to ask you the in regards to the entire draft class for quarterbacks. But at pick 11, Mendoza's off the board to the Raiders. Is there any QB worth the 11th overall pick in your opinion?
I mean, I would say no. I think the only other quarterback who could go in the first round, Josh will say Nuss, but I think Ty Simpson right now. And I think the only teams that have the luxury of taking him are teams with 2 first-round picks. So I think the Rams or the Jets are kind of his own. I think the Rams are a perfect spot. That's where I really want him to go. But I think those are the only 2 quarterbacks who can go in the first round.
Perfect. So where do you stand? Obviously, it's not a strong class. It's one of those weaker classes this year. But again, they could be a weak class, but these guys could come into the league and have a great career. It happens all the time. So I think some of these guys that are not going to go in the first round, if you get them in the 3rd or the 4th round, maybe that is a Nussmeier, maybe Alar or whatever. That's great value because these are guys that could maybe, play better than where they were drafted. Who are some of those guys that you think like, yeah, there are some guys that are going to be in the later rounds. You're like, yeah, but that's really where they're supposed to be drafted. They're not going to be anything more than maybe a backup wherever. Or who are some of the guys that you think that could get drafted in the 3rd or 4th round who could end up being that surprise starter in the league 2 years from now?
Yeah, I got a couple. First off, I want to shout out one of my guys, Luke Altmaier. My comp for him is Taylor Heineke. So I don't know if he'll ever be that star Pro Bowl. I mean, who knows with the Pro Bowl now, but all pro quarterback in the league. But he's going to be a very good football player for a long time. And he's going to be in the league in 10, 15 years. So I just want to shout out him. I think he would be a great bridge quarterback if that's what the Dolphins are looking for. Wait until the 2027 draft class and take Altmaier, who can be a great player for a year. There's a couple of developmental quarterbacks who, if they can land, they would be absolutely outstanding. The first one, North Dakota State quarterback Cole Payton. He is a very, very intriguing prospect because North Dakota State quarterback, that's going to scare some people off because they've seen Trey Lance. They've seen players like that fail. But, I mean, he is an intriguing option with sky-high potential. He's 6'3", 233 pounds. 2025, he had 2,719 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions as a passer. And he added 894 yards and 13 touchdowns as a rusher. He is an absolute dual threat quarterback. He can make every throw on the field. Great arm. He's been some compared to like watered down Josh Allen, like not quite Josh Allen, but someone who's got very similar strengths to him. So I think he's someone who could potentially land in the next level. He had a great Senior Bowl as well. He's another guy I didn't mention, but I think he shined. And then Taylon Green is another guy. I mean, he's got so much inconsistencies. So many, but you see a quarterback who's 6'6", 240 pounds, who is the fastest player on the field in literally every single matchup. He's got an amazing arm, but I mean, his accuracy is just so inconsistent. I feel like that was in large part due to Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas was dysfunctional on offense. He had to be Superman every single play for them, or it was going absolutely nowhere. So I would like to see him in the NFL be able to be Clark Kent for a little bit, not have to make every single play, not have to make a 50-yard throw while on the run, fading back. Like, just be in rhythm, make a good play over the middle. I think he'll have to develop a year, but he's someone who you could take a late round flyer on and just say he could develop into something. Why not take a chance on him?
Go ahead, Coach.
I was just going to say, I think with this year's draft, like Dolphins Thirsty just asked me about the Arkansas quarterback, and I think under previous regimes, I would be absolutely not, right? But you have with the new regime coming in that are very, building on players' strengths and just kind of developing quarterbacks. Like, if you can get him in the late rounds, you might as well take a chance on him and see what you can develop him into, because he could end up being, a guy like, just one of those late round guys that end up popping. I don't think it hurts to take a chance on him if I don't want it to be in the second round or third round, but if he's there, and you got a bunch of picks in the fourth and fifth round, you might as well.
Yeah, and you hear like someone that has to be the Superman. You start thinking like all these traits that they have. Sounds a lot like Patrick Mahomes when he was at Texas Tech, had to play Superman every single play.
Yeah.
Had the strong arm, had a lot to do. But then you also look at it and be like, man, he like physically reminds you a lot of Anthony Richardson. Strong arm, fastest guy on the field, that type, tall guy. So like you get that catch-22 along with him as like all these traits that he has with him. Just which one does it come to? And like,
do we know how many starts he's had? Because that's what threw me. That's what I was off on.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay, because with Richardson only having that 1 year, I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm touching him."
No, Taylor, he's He's 23 years old.
Okay.
He's in his fifth year. He played a couple seasons at Boise State, then 2 at Arkansas. So he's pretty well experienced. So it's not like that. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
But then that scares you as far as like make some boneheaded decisions. That kind of scares you. Exactly.
But then Josh, if you're not developing him to be day one starter, you can sit back and groom him to be
for sure. But like, why hasn't he developed in college? Mm-hmm. Is it him not wanting to develop, or is it like
look at the coaching staff? Look at the coaching staff that
I mean, I get it, but
the one thing I'll say though, again, for me, like the measurables, right? What sticks out to me with Taylor Green, again, the 6'6", 220. I mean, and then you add the dual threat option to it. Is he a raw prospect? He 100% is a raw prospect. Do I think, should any team spend a first round or maybe a second round pick on him? No, but a third rounder, one of those, Dolphins have 3 third rounders. You spend one of those on him. This is a guy that potentially you could, stash and play, have him compete with Quinn Ewers, see what you got with him. What if he shows up and shows out? If he doesn't, then you got somebody who's brewing back there who's talented enough.
Let me ask real.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Drew. Are you spending a top 100 pick on Taylor Green?
I mean, I'm personally not right now, but I do 100% think it's possible because you saw Jalen Milroe. He went in the third, pick number 92. I just looked it up, and he had arguably a worse Senior Bowl than Taylor Green did. But it's just I could see him. Yeah, it's all potential. You see the traits, and you're like, wow. If you're confident in your quarterback coach, like you can see it. So I wouldn't be entirely shocked to see him go top 100. I don't think he should, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so for great names. First of all, Cole Payton out of NDSU, Taylon Green, which is a name we've brought up before. So glad you brought that up. Let me ask you this: it's a name you didn't bring up, but a name that was again like Nick Singleton, same school. A guy who most people like just last year, this guy's all top 10 quarterback. And, you watch the 24 film. Awesome. You watch the 25 film. Yuck. Drew Allar. Where do you stand on Drew Allar right now?
I mean, I wish just Penn State wasn't entirely injured. So you could just see them perform away from the school, see what the problem was. I mean, his interviews, he's going to interview well, but they're going to be so important to see where does he assign the blame? What went wrong in 2025? Was it the scheme? Was it you? Like, what happened? I don't think his weapons were great, but he should have done better than what he did. So, I mean, his medicals are going to be big. That'll be a huge thing at the combine. I'm not entirely sold. Like, I'm just skeptical of this quarterback class. I like the potential of it, but I'm just skeptical on it. I think he's got great frame. I think he's got good rushing ability, but I just need to see his fundamentals improve. His footwork is kind of sloppy right now. I don't think he's particularly comfortable in the pocket yet. So I just need to see a lot of that improve before I buy a lot of stock into him. But a team's going to look at his size, look at his arm, and say, similar to what we said, we can develop that. Why not try and take a shot at him? So he's been virtually unheard of. No one has mentioned his name in a while, I feel like, because he's just out of sight, out of mind. But he's someone that's probably going to make some waves with the combine, and the team's going to select pretty early.
I mean, last year, if he left last year, they were talking about him being like a top 3 quarterback pick, right?
Yeah.
And then to completely fall off and not – it really feels a lot like the Ewers thing, right? Like if Ewers would have come out, he had a lot of upside, and then came back that year and just like completely fell off and went in the 7th round. Like that just – it's crazy to me how one guy can have – one year you'd be top of the class, and the next year you just completely the bottom falls out. So,
I mean, this class is a proponent on why it's not always the right move to go back to school.
Yeah,
you saw Nuss,
exactly.
You saw Klubnik, you saw Aller, 3 virtually do locks to go top in the 1st round. I mean, there really wasn't a big world in which those 3 weren't, and now we're talking about them not even close to 1st round conversations.
Wow. And I feel like the film is the complete opposite of what I saw in Nussmeier. Like, loved Alar's 2024 film. Throw on the 2025 film. You're like, what are you thinking? Like, you're making some dumb decisions. You're not, like you said, you're not comfortable in the pocket. Like, what are you doing?
Because Notre Dame broke him.
Yeah. But the one thing is, and NFL GMs are dumb. Like, they truly are. Like, when it comes to quarterbacks, they are very dumb. And this is another guy I could see going in the 1st round, not because he should be, but because they're dumb and they say, oh, look, this guy looks a lot like Josh Allen. I want a Josh Allen on my team. This could be another guy that late round 1st, like they could take a flyer. We need a quarterback. We need a 5th round option on him. And that could be a guy. Not saying he should be, but they could justify it with his 2024 film. Say 2025, he was hurt. It was a show over there, and I could see him going 1st round, even though he shouldn't.
There you go. Let's see here.
I love the silence there.
Always, yeah. You just everybody's kind of like he just.
There could be multiple Josh Allens in this class. You got Taylor Green, you got Drew Aller, you got who was
Robertson,
Payton. Yeah, Sawyer Robertson. You got 4 potential All-Pro quarterbacks. I mean, what are we talking about? This
But that's why if I think I'm more intrigued with this class, even though we look at it and go, damn man, it's weaker than what you would want. Like everybody's really excited for next year. But I love when there's guys in the mid and late rounds that you kind of got to like go through the cobwebs of trying to find. And I love that you bring up Cole Payton, and then. But Robinson out of Baylor, nobody, people are not talking about him, but that's a guy that's another one was like raw potential, Taylor Green. So those are guys like you don't have to waste a 1st round or a 2nd round pick. You get them in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever round, and you might have yourself a decent guy that came out of nowhere, like you said, a dollar store Temu version of Josh Allen. Fin's TV in the house. Great to see Fin's TV. Joel Levesque.
As long as Carson Beck goes day 3, I'll be fine. If Carson Beck goes
undrafted free agent.
If Carson Beck goes, like it's going to be crazy because Beck is awful.
Yeah,
he's awful. He should go undrafted. Truly.
No. He's one of my least favorite players in college football. I can't get
wow. Bobby, how you feeling right now, Bobby? How you feeling?
I'm sorry, but I cannot.
He's gone, bro. He's going. He's off the Hurricanes.
I'm a Georgia fan, so like I fully understand it, and he's just get this guy out of here. Like he doesn't need to keep playing football. Let him be with his girlfriend and have a social media presence. Like I feel like that's what he truly wants.
Well, he moved to Miami for his girlfriend, and then they broke up. Like,
oh, I didn't even know they broke up. See, that's how.
They were broke up very quickly.
The same year or something. One of the basketball players, I think.
You can't keep getting tatted up.
They're twins.
That's right.
Now
that we're talking about, those under the radar quarterbacks, weaker class, etc. Let me stay on this topic. Who's your sleepers in this draft? Who are guys that people aren't talking about that you're like, hey, this, you hit on this guy in the mid round, the late round, he could make an impact, maybe season 1, maybe later down the line.
I mean, my go-to answer for this is he didn't receive a combine invite. Like shaken by that. But Boston College wide receiver Lewis Bond. If you don't like, he's not a big name, but he is so good. If Boston College was even slightly competent in 2025, you would be hearing so much more about him. He is my wide receiver 8, I believe, right now, and what is a very deep wide receiver class, just below Casey Concepcion, one spot higher than Ted Hurst. So he's in some very good company. He's excellent. He's good after the catch, a tough receiver to bring down, amazing agility. He's extremely twitched up. It's so tough for a defender to stay with him. He's got great short area quickness. He plays extremely fast, excellent in and out of his routes, reliable hands, can bring in off-body catches. He's a rapid accelerator. Plus, he's one of the highest IQ players. He always knows where to be an available option for the quarterback, especially while they're under duress. If you're on a scramble drill, he will find an open spot in the zone, and he will be open and get you the ball. So I'm fully on the Lewis Bond board. I don't think he's got top end speed. He can be pushed off his routes with physicality, and he's just a tad late reacting to the ball at times. But I'm pretty bullish on Lewis Bond, and I think he's going to be an amazing addition to the team, whether it's on day 3 or sometime around then.
Man, I love that. I love that you brought that up, the Boston College receiver. What are you thinking, Josh? Oh, you're on mute.
Unmute yourself, Josh.
Thanks. Someone muted me. Got tired of me talking. Yeah, I love hearing that. I need to go watch him. Haven't watched any of his film yet, so love hearing these under the radar guys, especially receiver. Receivers are so much fun to watch.
Yes,
like you start watching. Like one of my least favorite positions to watch is corner, just because they backpedal and receivers are like I feel like receivers and offensive linemen are like truly really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And one of the receivers that I like, and he's highly regarded, like a lot of people have him within their top 20 receivers, but Zachariah Branch, as a Georgia fan, I feel like Georgia kind of didn't utilize him to the point that he should have been. And I think he could be someone that if you throw on the film, you're like, his route tree isn't very good, but I think at the next level, he could do some dangerous stuff for a team that drafts him.
I wish Georgia utilized him more as a receiver, because it felt like he was exclusively just this trick play guy, this gadget guy. I mean, I think he can be a lot more than that. So I'm excited to see him. One other kind of got me thinking, he's not as much heard of right now, but in a couple of weeks, I guarantee you he'll be the most talked about player in college football, and that is Mississippi State wide receiver Brennan Thompson. You won't hear him right now, but I'm telling you right here, the 40-yard dash record is going down. Wow. This guy has world-class speed. If you turn on his film, he just burns defenders instantly every single time. If it's on a deep route, if you don't have a safety shading over to help him, he's gone. He's still pretty raw. Like, he's not an exceptional route runner. He's not a great blocker because he's very small. But, man, he can fly. He ran a 10.22 100-meter dash in high school, which anything under 11 is great. Yeah. And he just smoked that. Like, this kid is going to be so fast. And I genuinely think he could run under 10.2 or 4.2. Like, he is going to fly.
Wow. Sounds like a good candidate for the Chargers. Now that McDaniel's the OC over there.
Yeah, that's a good name. Thompson. We talked about Zachariah Branch last episode too. Another fast receiver, especially even though I think you hear what Sully has said, the GM for the Dolphins, about size and everything else, and we've been banging the table for some size at wide receiver. But Branch and I think Thompson, I don't know his official height is. They're not. I know Bond is 5'11", I think, but and Branch I think is right there too. But these are guys, Branch and Thompson, could end up. If you need to find someone who can replace Tyreek Hill, you're not going to find someone who can replace everything, because Tyreek Hill is just Tyreek Hill. But if you're looking for that type of speed, you could get some guy in this draft to replace that speed. So that's something that stands out. I see the same name pop up a couple of times. Hines King, quarterback. Drew, what are your thoughts on Hines King?
From a competitor standpoint, no one is more fierce than him. He will do whatever it takes for his team to win. I mean, he'll rush the ball 40 times. He will run into a defender 80 times. He doesn't care. He just wants his team to win. I'm a little bit worried about him just in a different scheme. I wish he would have gotten to the Senior Bowl. He was a Shrine Bowl player, but that Georgia Tech scheme is built completely tailored to him, which NFL offenses should do. But it's not really practical that you're going to allow your quarterback to scramble 25 times a game. So I have some question marks there and with his arm strength, but I mean, he's just going to be a great locker room presence. And if your star quarterback gets injured and you are up by 7 points, 10 points in the fourth quarter, he will do whatever it takes to keep you in that game. Like, he's just a competitor and someone I'd want to have in my locker room.
I love it. Scotty brings up Dason McCullough, a sleeper for him. Appreciate Scotty throwing that in there. So with the Dolphins,
is Dason related to the McCullum that came out recently, safeties corners? Or do we not know?
I don't know.
I do not know.
I'm not sure. Scotty, you got to put more information, man. Don't just throw names out there, bro. Scotty's awesome, man.
Oh, I'm washed. He's a Nebraska player.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I'm washed. I didn't recognize the name for a second. Nebraska's like one of my teams. Like, I grew up like 10 minutes away from Lincoln. Just a complete brain lapse there for me, but I'm all for any Nebraska players.
There you go. Dason McCullough. So with the Dolphins, when you think of team needs, obviously quarterback is the popular one, wide receiver, corner, safety, the right side of the offensive line. Austin Jackson, does he come back? Do they trade him or move on from him? Can't stay healthy. Edge rusher for sure, because you lost Jalen Phillips in a trade. Bradley Chubb more than likely not coming back, even though I like him. Chop did not have a good year last year. Pick 11 for Miami could be a possible trade down option. Drew, let's say just if Miami stayed at 11, what are some players that stick out to you to be like, I could see Miami going after this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I think the home run, the best possible pick would be Ruben Bain. I don't think he falls to 11, but I think that would just be a perfect match. Jeff Hafley's probably going to run a 4-3 defense, and he is absolutely built for that. He's going to be able to set the edge. He's going to be able to rush the passer. I mean, there is no better prospect for the Dolphins than Ruben Bain. You're running that up to the stage. You're sprinting up there. You're not fielding any trade calls.
Preach, brother, preach.
I think any of the top 4 cornerbacks or top couple cornerbacks, Mansour Delane, Jermon McCoy, Keith Abney, who's underrated, but he's my cornerback 1, Brandon Cisse, Avion Terrell, all should be in the conversation. I think the top of the class is very, very impressive. So any one of those would be a great addition. Wide receiver, I mean, my number 1 guy is Denzel Boston. He is my guy. He is my
I heard you say that on one of your shows.
I am bullish on him. If the Dolphins need an X receiver, they need a big body who can bring in contested catches. No one has him mocked that high, I think, but me. But I think Denzel Boston would be a great fit. But you really can't go wrong with any of the other ones. And Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon. And then edge rusher, I don't know if there's anyone I'd feel 100% comfortable taking at 11. I'm a lot higher in Zion Young than really everyone else. I talked about how the class is specialized, how you're kind of in rare company if you can both rush the passer and defend the run. I think Zion Young is one of the few players who can do both. And then I'll throw Keldrick Falk in there as well. One of the youngest players in the draft. He'll be 20 on draft day. Still is a very raw pass rusher, but he's got all the tools. He's an outstanding run defender. He's powerful, strong, agile. He's everything you could want in that aspect. He'll be a great 4-3 defender.
I love it. Yeah, Zion Young is a guy we talked about last week. A guy I think, if he's sitting there, if you didn't get an edge rusher in round, I'm with you though. If Ruben Bain's sitting there at 11, you run up and you go do it. Get it done. Hometown boy, elite. I love him. That was a fun debate that we waited a little bit last week. So I know Josh is being nice right now, just keeping quiet and looking at the.
No, I still need to watch film. Like, there's a reason why people have him number 1. What I saw against Ohio State, I just didn't see it. I definitely need to watch more film on him. And
his Notre Dame game at the start of the year was absolutely.
Hey, bad things happen.
You can tell who the Notre Dame
Charles
guy is.
Jaguso he was struggling that game.
Yeah, he was.
And I think his Indiana game, the national championship was also.
If you don't get Ruben Bain at 11. I think if he's still there at 2 in round 2, you go get Zion Young. I think you're totally okay. If he's sitting there, you get him, and you're happy. If you go corner now again, I don't sleep on any position at
Yeah.
11 other than punter or kicker. But like, wide receiver, that's another position, especially like Tate is sitting there or one of those guys. Great. But, like you said, there's a lot. This class at receiver is so dang strong. You could spend one of your day 3 pick. I mean, excuse me, one of your 3rd round picks on a receiver, and you may hit on a wide receiver 1. There are guys there. Brazil out of Tennessee is a guy that jumps out. I know Josh covered him a couple times back. I think Chris Bell out of Louisville. I think he may go in round 2. I know he has an injury thing. Yeah, the injury pushed him down a little bit. Let me ask you, who are some of your sleeper receivers? Do you have any sleeper receivers that nobody's talking about?
I do, but first off, I want to mention on Brazel.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, but I am out. I am not a Chris Brazel guy. I am not a fan. He is my wide receiver 18, I believe, right now. Like a lot of people,
I love it. I love it.
I've tried. I've watched his best games, and I just kind of can't get on board with him. The first off and most blatant thing for me is I just see a lot of effort issues.
Okay.
And I just put a lot of stock into that. I mean, it could be the Tennessee offense, but there are plays where he doesn't even run off the snap. He's just.
I think it's the Tennessee offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think
but
he's like
the downfield blocking is so bad. I mean, there was a clip. He was right in front of the receiver. So there's 2 defenders. There's 2 receivers. The wide receiver has a chance to run for a lot of yards if Brazel just does any sort of block, and he's just standing there not doing anything. So I have some question marks there surrounding him. Then I think he's got good hands, but kind of struggles in contested catch situations. I'm not entirely sold on his ability there. Right. But from a frame standpoint, 6'5", he's got exceptional deep speed, long strides that eat up ground, great stop-start ability. I don't think he's a prototypical Tennessee receiver. And I do think he can be a very good player in the league. I'm just personally not on board. I think in the round 3 is kind of where I'd take him. I think he'd be an excellent value there, but I've seen people mock him in round 1, and I just can't get there.
Yeah, I graded him on our grading scale 6.56, which is like a back end of round 1. But I do like I saw someone that was a willing blocker. That's all I'm looking for out of a wide receiver, because you don't really get that a lot of time. But I did see on film where like he was just standing there, and I think. And I'm assuming, and that could just be on me, that that's the Tennessee offense, because it was really the quarterback's looking to the right side. He's on the left side. He's doing a couple steps and standing still. But I did see like he likes to catch the ball to his body. But overall, like he can high point the ball. He has really good jump. I think he can play both X and Z at the next level. He has good movement skills, body control. And once he gets the ball in his hands, like he's explosive. So I really like what I see out of him. There is some development opportunities for him, but yeah, I have him as the end of the first round, but overall I can kind of see like we're interpreting things differently. So, and if it was me interpreting like he's just not trying, I'd probably have him in the 3rd round as well.
His combine interviews are paramount to his to his stock. Like if he goes to interviews well, I could see him going very high. But if he doesn't, I could see him dropping a lot.
This is why I love the draft, man. You got so many different people, right? Even in with the 3 of us, we have a tendency sometimes to see people completely different, and then bringing on new people, you just kind of see how people and what people value. Like to what you're saying, Drew, is I see the same thing. Like I was watching tight ends today, right? And for me, like blocking is the first thing I look for in a tight end is, are you able to block before anything else, right? And I want to see wide receivers being able to block downfield. And if they're not, it's for me, that's an effort thing. So I can totally see how you would be able to come up with that.
Well, thank you, Shady Pines. Appreciate that comment. That was real nice of you. That's one thing I want to say too. That's what I love about this. And I say that about us 3 guys and with Drew in here. And Drew, man, I'll tell you straight up, this is awesome. You are great, man. You know your stuff.
Thank you.
It's like you fit right in, dude. This is really cool. But that's one thing I love about doing draft stuff, watching film, talking with other people. Like, when someone totally disagrees or like I don't see that, it's like, okay, what do you see? Because maybe I'm not seeing it. I love listening to other people, especially when they have a different of opinion or they see something different in a player. I'm with you when it comes to effort. These guys know this. There's a guy, they could love a guy and I'll watch the same film and you're like, yeah, if you watch all the great plays, that's amazing. But if you go ahead and watch it all the way through and on the other side of the field, the ball's on the other side of the field, but that one guy's just walking, that bothers me. If I see him running across the field to help his teammate, whatever it's a block or do even though the ball's all that stands out. Like if I see him doing that, like I'm like that motor is that's a stand out. That's a team player. I'm raising him up. When he's out, when he has nothing to do with the football and he's still putting in the work, that sticks out to me. One of my favorite players coming out a couple of years back, and I was banging the table and these guys are laughing at me and I was going nuts for him. And I still like him to this day was Braden Fisk. Fisk was one of those guys out of FSU. It's like when you watch the film, even when the play was done or not done, but away from him, and he's still destroying guys. I was like, I love this kid. So that's something that really stands out to me. So for you to say that about Brazil from Tennessee, that sticks out because that's something I think that you may look at too. And you go, where's the effort? Where does it come into play? So I love that. Go ahead. If you have a follow-up, I apologize.
Oh, no. I mean, I completely agree with what you said. I just love all of the different perceptions that people can get. Like, they're all very different, but for a vast majority of people, they're willing to hear it. And it's just very enticing about the draft.
Yeah. And like Keldrick Falk, one thing that stood out to me was there was an interception that he very easily could have went and helped block, but then he's just standing there. Everyone else is moving around trying to help. He's just standing there, not doing anything. So that stood out to me. And comparing to what we saw with Brazil near Keldrick Falk, like I felt like that was like coached to where this was an effort thing of like, do you know what? I'm not even going to attempt to try and make it. The guy got tackled where he could have made that opportunity to block. But yeah, those are the two things that stood out.
Let me ask, now that Scotty asked that question about tight ends, and then we'll get one follow-up question and we'll wrap this one up, Drew. And thank you so much for taking this evening to hang out with us, man. Again, it's been awesome. And we'd love to have you back on, dude, because,
100%.
Your knowledge is 100%. We're learning a lot from you. That's what's really cool. And so thank you so much. The tight end class, obviously Miami currently has Darren Waller. He's more than likely could retire. Other than that, they have really nothing. So I think tight end is an option. You brought up the tight end group. They didn't really have a great showing. I think one player had a very good showing. I'm trying to remember which one it was. But other than that, it wasn't great at all at Senior Bowl. How do you feel about this tight end class? And, Scotty asks, I think Max Clare, Ohio State, is that who it was? Yeah. Is that worth a second round pick? Well, what are your thoughts on the tight end class? Like your top 5 players, if you got them.
I mean, first off, Max Clare, yes, I do think he is. I mean, Ohio State just didn't use him. I mean, when you have Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, Brennan Ennis, like Bo Jackson, you're going to use other guys before him. But I do think Clare is a very underrated prospect. And kind of looking at the class, I mean, Sadiq is obviously an amazing athlete. He's exceptional in pretty much every area. Eli Stowers is a crazy receiving threat. Same with Michael Trigg. I mean, they're basically slot receivers playing at tight end. I mean, they've got amazing hands, all that. Sam Roush is so fun to watch for me from Stanford. So Justin Jolie, like I'm very hopeful on this tight end class, and I am a big fan. Obviously, they didn't show out in the game in Mobile and stuff like that, but I just really like the class, and I'm very hopeful for it.
Awesome. So, now to get just your perspective, and then we'll wrap this one up with the Miami Dolphins. Obviously you covered the Saints, but you cover the league in general because you want to follow up with the draft and kind of keep in touch with everything that's going on. You see what's going on with Miami. They get rid of Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel. They have Coach Hafley now. They got John Eric Sullivan out of Green Bay. Obviously Hafley's only been there for 2 years, but Sully 20 years with the Green Bay Packers. As an outsider, unbiased opinion, what are your thoughts currently on the Miami Dolphins with this new regime in place, and what do you expect from this regime in their first draft?
I mean, okay, so coming from the Saints, who had a really different regime last year, it's not like any draft class I think there have in recent years. I mean, no other Saints coach, Sean Payton, Dennis Allen, they aren't picking Tyler Shuck. I mean, so you might be bold. Like there might be some bold takes that you don't see coming. But if they stick their hat on a player, you just got to trust it. Like Jonas Sanker, Quincy Riley, all that for the Saints. I mean, you didn't think even Kelvin Banks was thought to be a reach at the time, but they've all played great. So I think the Miami Dolphins are at a very interesting spot. I mean, I think it's 2025 or 2026 or whatever year it is might be a little bit tough because you just don't know who your quarterback is. That's going to be a huge question mark they have to answer this offseason. I mean, it's probably not going to be Tua, but are you going to roll with Quinn Ewers? Are you going to roll with someone in free agency? Are you going to pick someone in the draft? It's going to be a very important thing, but I do like some of the pieces that they did. I like a lot of their offseason coaching acquisitions, and I'm hopeful for them in the future.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Josh, any final words or questions for Drew before we wrap this one up?
No, just appreciate you coming on. Excited to watch more of what you're doing out there. Know you're young in the game, so always excited to see that. You're still in college?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore at KU, at University of Kansas.
Well, you're ahead of it.
Ahead of us for sure.
Excited to see what you do.
Thank you,
Coach.
Yeah, hey Drew, I appreciate you coming on, and you definitely have the tools to go far. I mean, if they would have had stuff like this when I was growing up in college, it would have been all I would have been doing. So I think you're going to be one of those up and comers. So congratulations on what you've gotten so far, and keep rolling, brother.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's been a great time.
Absolutely. And again, I'm going to reach out to the draft professor, about to host the Epic Mock 2026 Epic Mock, 7 rounds, April 9th through the 11th. So make sure you guys are waiting and paying attention on that for the draft professor. Drew, again, man, just let everybody know where they could find you. Do you do a show on the regular that people could tune in? Because I'll tell you, man, you dropped a lot of knowledge today. So definitely would love for people to know where you're at so they could listen and find out more.
So follow me on X. That's the biggest thing, at Drew M. Collings. That's where I'll post where I am. I'll do a bunch of stuff like that. I'll post scouting reports, random thoughts, stuff like that. So I'll be on the Draft Professors podcast as well. I'm there Saturday mornings at 9. I'm trying to convert the times from Central to Eastern. I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern. And then Monday nights, I'm there, I believe, 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern. Not great at converting times, but one of those. So I'll be around 100%. I write for Roundtable Sports. I write for Who Dat Dish for a Saints site. So I'll be posting my work. Follow me on X, and you can keep up with it.
Already followed.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I sent the guys, I sent you the message from Draft Professor in regard to that. So just take a look and we'll discuss on that. I think that's an awesome opportunity. Drew's going to be involved in that. I think he said he's going to represent the Saints.
I will be. Yep. The Dome Discussions podcast. We will be hosting the Saints one. So
in that
potential
case,
trades.
If we're running the Dolphins and we want to make a trade, or you want to make,
reach out
to us, right? All right. Real deal. Holyfield. All right. I love it. Hey, Drew,
Cost just went up though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the cost is up, my man. No, Drew, again, thank you so much. And I really mean this when I say I hope you come back. I really would love to have you back on.
I would love to be back. Yeah.
Maybe a more relaxed episode, like less questions. We just all of us just bantering and debating, and maybe we'll run a mock here and there and have a good time. So everyone tuning in, thank you all so much. For those who are new viewers, we appreciate you. Like Shady Pines, we appreciate your comment. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Also go check out Drew Collings at Drew M. Collings on X, or at Roundtable Sports or Draft Professor, where he's live on Saturday morning. But the day, Michael Desiree, Scotty, Lou, Joel, forgive me if I'm going to miss anybody, Thirsty, everyone up in the comments, Dad Dean in the house. Appreciate you all. Like and subscribe. Most importantly, Dolphin fans, as always, fins up. We'll see you guys on the other side.